Hi everyone, Andrew here for ABELI Reviews, and today we are looking at another one of my ship builds. This one is the ship that made me all my monies. This is my Python. I call it Shield. All my ships have sort of fun medieval kind of neat nicknames, but I absolutely adore this ship. I think the Python is probably one of the best ships in the game in terms of being kind of anything you want it to be. It's going to do it quite well. It can fit and land on most starports. It's still medium. It's not a large ship. It is a medium-sized ship, which is fantastic. That means it can go pretty much anywhere. Just overall, it looks really cool. Kind of gives me like, because of this sort of olive black vibe, really reminds me of Halo to a certain extent. If you're a fan of that series, overall, it's one of my favorite ships, and like I said, it did a lot of work for me to kind of make up the money I was able to get. Obviously, still not a lot compared to many others, but for me, it was quite a bit. It is essentially my cargo ship. So real quick, we'll kind of talk about what I'm using this ship for, but I think the context is helpful. So we look at sort of my set of ships. I have my Python, which I call Shield, my Diamondback, which is Arrow. Now, my Python essentially is my cargo ship. It's when I take back and forth when I'm selling stuff. My Diamondback is my Explorer. My Fer-de-Lance is my little close quarters fighter. My Crate, MK2 is my Spear. That sort of is my all-rounder. My Type 10 Defender, I call it Armory, and it's just full of everything you can think of. Missiles, lasers, guns, ships, all the good stuff. And then Anaconda, that's my castle. That is the sort of top tier ship of mine. I see that ship and the Crate being my two most used ships. But that being said, my Python is actually what made all of this possible. My Python is kit out to be a shipping lane type of ship, and I adore it. So real quickly, let's kind of check out the outfitting, and I'll kind of talk through it. It does need to be able to defend itself, and if you've seen some of my other builds, you're probably not unfamiliar with the fact that I like beam lasers and I like multi-cannons. I think those are great, so that's what you're seeing here. I did go through a spurt where this ship had turrets, and my thought was, instead of trying to defend myself and maybe take out the enemy, what we would do instead is just have turrets to fight against the enemy as I fly away. I did end up changing my mind just because this ship is such a well-rounder that it didn't make sense for me to not stand my ground a little bit. At least be able to take on those guys when I have stuff in them. In the ship's cargo holds. Utility mounts, we're going pure shield boosters. This ship is just here to hold on to those things. I don't want to lose anything, so our shield boosters are all over the place. Core Eternals, we've got that reactive composite surface armor. I really like it. Top tier power plant, top tier thrusters. Frame shift drive is the best I can get for the class. Life support as well. I want all the time I can get in this ship. Power distributor, again, 7A. And then my sensors at that 6A, followed by the standard fuel tank, which again, you can't change, but it's just there. One of the nicest things about this ship is you'll notice I went all top tier here. I have 4 shield boosters, which usually use up a lot. I have all of my weapons right here. Normally, when you do stuff like that, your power distribution is already starting to get a little wild. But you can see here, we're not even using all of it in the bottom right-hand corner. When we're retracted, we're almost around 60%, and there's still plenty of space to go. But I think that is because of our optional internal choices. As I mentioned, this is my cargo ship. So this ship is full to the gills within reason of cargo racks. So as we go through here, you can see top tier for the tier. That is a 64 cargo rack, a 64 cargo rack, a 64 cargo rack, followed by 32, 32, 16, 8. And then, because I do still think it's important to at least be able to take some hits, a very basic shield generator, followed by that advanced docking computer, super cruise assist, and then of course the complementary advanced planetary approach suite. If we go to vehicle bays, empty, all the standard stuff you would expect there. I really can't say enough about this ship. And if we sort of look at the fact that it is my trucking ship, this is where we want to know about cargo. So the total cargo I can carry is 280 tons. Fuel capacity is kept to 32 though. This is kind of a unique piece here where I either swap out certain pieces to put a oh goodness, why can't I think of why can't I'm drawing a blank here. The word I'm trying to look for, my goodness, is fuel scoop. My goodness. Wow, I don't know why I was stuck on that. Sorry. Fuel scoop. I will sometimes put a fuel scoop on the ship if I'm going to be going a long distance. But overall, I used this ship in the booze cruise, which is awesome because you don't need to worry about those things. You're just going back and forth. You're doing the run. We've got videos on that in this channel here, so check those out at your leisure and convenience. But that's how I made the 2.3 billion in the top right corner of the screen. Overall, I did not feel the need to use a fuel scoop because we were staying in the same little system. Overall, I adore my ship, though. If we do sort of look at the livery real quick, you'll kind of see the color that I chose, which I think is just an olive, but we can confirm it real quick. Yeah, it is the standard color for this ship. And I actually really like it. I don't really like the Python Azure. If I were to go something a little bit more wild, I'd probably go straight black like a lot of my other ships, but I really find this to be an attractive color. So we're leaving that there, at least for now. Overall, why don't we pop out a little bit and get some more views of the ship. I think it's one of the best ships you can have. I'm very tempted to make another one that specifically kind of goes for that combat exploration option with a little heavier emphasis on exploration. It's that good. The Python is a fantastic ship. I bet there's going to be many people in the comments that are going to say, yeah, it's a great ship. You really can't go wrong with it because you can do so much. And it can be that multi-layer ship. You can have a friend ride with you. That's already super important, right? You can then explore the galaxy with a large jump drive. You can do all of those things in this ship, and it looks pristine. It looks cool. It just has a lot going for it, and I think that's awesome. We'll sort of pop out here and take a little spin. Overall, I couldn't be more pleased with just how my ship turned out and the overall look of it. It's an attractive ship. So like I said, though, I use mine really sort of sparingly. It is my cargo ship. For others, I think it could be a very excellent daily driver, and that's because it is a medium tier ship. That's one of the things that sort of set this and the Anaconda apart. I love my Anaconda. I love it dearly. It was kind of my goals ship when I was first getting started. But the problem with it is a large ship, and it needs to have a large landing zone to actually go anywhere, which does mean at times you're going to enter stations and systems that you can't participate in. Not true with the Python. Pretty much everybody allows it. And you'll notice I have quite a bit of mobility here. We can whip around. If you've seen some of our other videos, you know that some of those bigger ships, they don't turn on a dime. Not with the Python. You can do all kinds of excellent turns very, very quickly, and it just handles it well. We'll even put out our stuff. You can see here we're not even coming close to our power distribution or our power usage, which is fantastic. So there's still plenty of room for me to make adjustments. What else can I say about it that I think maybe has already been said or I've said multiple times? It's a great ship. I actually sort of feel like I underutilize it because it is my cargo style ship, because I just like my crate so much. But had I turned the crate into a cargo ship, this would have been my my sort of standard ship of choice. But overall, Python's a fantastic ship. I like what I use it for, but there's no reason why you couldn't use it for something else. It really is that ship that can do whatever it is you want to do. And like I said, for me, our build and everything about this is focused on hauling cargo in the most efficient, easy way possible. So our fire groups are just sort of for minor defenses, but when you look at that sort of inventory option, we can carry over 280 tons. Now, that is not the max, of course, if you do buy a larger ship or you opt to not have some of those little additions that I have, such as you know, the docking computer, the super cruise assist, a shield. You could get rid of a shield. You could probably squeeze a little bit more out. But personally, I think those things, one, the shield provides protection. The docking computer provides convenience, and the same convenience can also be applied to Super Cruise Assist. So for me, it's worth it. What do we hit? I feel like we bopped around there for a second. Overall, very great ship. It's an all-rounder. Before we sort of end this video, let's just take a peek at the starport services, and we'll look at sort of the base cost and all the fun that comes with this ship. We go to our shipyard here. We'll look at purchase ships, and we'll scroll right over, and it is sort of in that middle tier. And here it is, the Python. Whew, just a cool 50 million. I'm going to round up. Obviously, 49,998,353 credits, but let's just sort of, call a spade a spade. It is a $50 million ship. Now, here's the distinction, though, and I think this is why, now that I'm saying this is exactly why I opted to turn this one into my cargo ship and not my crate. This ship does not allow you to have a fighter bay. I think that is a misstep on them, but that is okay because there are other ships that you can use. This does allow for multi-crew, but to be honest, I think multi-crew is fun when your crew can either use the turrets or they can pop in a ship. I think if they have to choose between using the turrets or using a ship, I would always opt for giving them another ship. Just so it's some more fun there. But then again, that's just my preference and the people I'm playing with. But this does limit it a little bit, which is why I opted to turn this lovely little devil into my cargo ship. But overall, if we sort of look at those base things, they do give you a couple pulse lasers to start with. Your 3 large hardpoints are left empty for you to make those decisions. You can then see here, we sort of start you out very basic, very basic stuff. Nothing is top tier. The lightweight alloy, power plant, thrusters, all that stuff's pretty low. It's not going to have a ton of jump range. That being said, I have a lot of big stuff in mind, so my jump range in this isn't that great. I will probably make some adjustments in the nearest of future to squeak out a little bit more. I do have some stuff in there that's underutilized, and that's okay. Utility mounts, again, like you saw when we looked through mine, you do have the 4 utility mounts. Those are empty. You could put turrets on those as well, like defensive style turrets. And then you can even see here, they kind of rely on that selling factor as well. A lot of cargo. You got that size 6 shield generator. Then they just throw the Super Cruise Assist and the advanced planetary approach. All the normal stuff that you would expect. And then, of course, the landing pad requirement is medium, like I'd referenced. Overall, it's a fantastic ship. You really can't go wrong with it. I'm a fan of it. It is the rock that built my little mini small kingdom over here, so I will always hold it in high esteem. But of course, this is just my opinion. I'd love to hear yours in the comments. If you're using your ship differently, or if you saw something on mine, you're like, hey, you should really do something different here. Please put that in the comments. That's great. We're all still learning together. Thank you so much for stopping by, and we'll catch you in the next one. Take care.